All right, and welcome into the Betting Pros College Football Show. What's been perhaps the most unpredictable season to date rolls on, which means we've got our Week 7 early picks and line movement predictions coming right at you. I'm your host, Seth Woolcock, and I wish I had some positive remarks to make at the top of the program here today, but after another losing week for the betting card and my Penn State and Indy Lions, the kid is down bad right now. But pulling up next to me is one of our resident college football gambling experts here at Betting Pros, who also had a team drop out of the AP rankings after being the preseason #1 ranked team. He's Scott Bet the Total Bogman. Boggs, I wish we were back under better circumstances, but great to see you nonetheless. How are you as we wipe the slate clean here for Week 7?
Yeah, I mean, 6-7 last week on my picks. So I sprayed the board a little bit more than I typically do. We ended up one game under. So just okay on the bets. But I mean, the real depression was not only from losing the game to Florida, but looking like absolute trash for the entire game. I mean, there were no positive takeaways for the Longhorns in that game. And here comes Oklahoma this week. So, the college football, we're playing to win bets from now on. We're not aiming for natties. It seems like a pretty impossible feat for our teams. Not impossible, but highly unlikely that either one of our teams is going to make the playoffs at this point. So let's win some money, babe. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm with you there, man. Like, it's October 6th, and like the preseason AP rankings top 5, the odds currently to make the college football playoff: Texas plus 235, Penn State plus 680, Ohio State minus 3,500, Clemson not even listed, and Georgia minus 188. So like, unfreaking real, man. It's been a crazy season, but we do trudge on here, and today's program does look like this as well. We'll recap all the Week 6 action, the betting risers, the betting fallers, plus give you an early handicap for the top 10 games for Week 7. And as always, shout out to everyone who continues to make us a part of their weekly rotation by tuning in either on the Betting Pros YouTube channel or the audio feed. The easiest free way to support us: give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this type of content. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a moment of CFB betting coverage this season. Also, if you want a chance to score this signed Nick Chubb's Browns helmet for free, courtesy of our friends over at pristineauction.com, all you need to do is head to bettingpros.com/contest, complete the form, and either A, download that sweet free Betting Pros app, B, leave a review for the Betting Pros podcast, or C, subscribe to our social media handles. We're at Betting Pros on X and TikTok, and at Betting Pros NFL on Instagram. The more actions you complete, the more entries you're going to receive, and we will be announcing a winner right here on the channel. So make sure you ring the bell so you can be alerted when new episodes are up and to claim your prize if you are that lucky winner. Now, let's go ahead and look back at a weekend of college ball that some of us may never forget. Number 12, Georgia covers for some against Kentucky, 35-14. Cincinnati holds off Iowa State's comeback, 38-30. Number 20, Michigan wins versus Wisconsin, 24-10. Virginia, the 24th ranked team in the country, they eke past Louisville, 30-27. 0-4 UCLA, the upset number 7 Penn State, 42-37. No crowd there. First time play caller Jerry
Couldn't
Newhouse.
even storm the field.
No.
Didn't have enough people.
They tried. It was not a good look.
More cops than people, it felt like.
Absolutely. Florida takes down Boggs' number 9 Texas Longhorns 29-21 in the swamp. Number 10 Alabama beats number 16 Vanderbilt 40-14. Number 11 Texas Tech, they stay perfect, 35-11 against Houston. Number 6 Texas A&M, they upend Mississippi State's season 31-9. Number 3 Miami holds on 28-22 over number 18 Florida State. And number 1 Ohio State crushes Minnesota in the shoe 42-3. Boggs, who are your betting risers and fallers here in week number 6 of the season?
Well, I mean, obviously Penn State had a rough one going all the way across the country and dropping it to this is, to me, this just brings the legend of Oregon up a little bit more, right? I feel like we've talked about, and the national media has made a big deal about the Oregon hangover that a lot of teams have. After playing Oregon the next week, they're still beat up and they get smoked. And that's what happened in Penn State. Now, was it Oregon? Was it traveling all the way across the country? Was it just the fact that they kind of let Nico do his own thing? I mean, Seth, I'm sure you have been disgusted by this and you haven't really looked too much into it, but I can't remember the head coach's name now, but he was talking about how he didn't even know how to press the button. Like the first couple plays.
Yeah. Yep.
The first couple plays didn't even get into, it was New Eisel calling plays. They didn't even get into Nico. He had to make his own plays because he didn't know which button to hit to call the play. Like that's where we were at with UCLA, and they somehow win this game. So that one was ridiculous. I think more of, trend down on Penn State, which you can. Obviously, this was a shocking loss. Like, Texas lost. It wasn't shocking. Florida's a very good team. This was surprising. I think I raise UCLA a little bit more than I, dump Penn State. Obviously, not a good look for Penn State, but if UCLA can go and hang with them, I think they're turning it around there now that the coaching stuff has changed. So we at least have that. I mean, for Ohio State, just feels like they're sharpening their knives
so good
with all these opponents right now, right? Like they haven't even looked good until this week. I think they looked excellent, right? Holding Minnesota to 3 points, scoring 42.
Only on scripted drives they give up any points, it feels like, man. Once you get off script, you cannot score on this Ohio State defense.
Man, it is really ugly facing this Ohio State defense and Miami, for that as well. Like, I kind of thought, hey, FSU's at home. They're going to have the crowd. This is as good as they've been in a long time. And Miami just went in, and that defense looks unstoppable right now. So we're learning a little bit more about these teams. A&M, like whatever the defensive issues that A&M had are gone. Right? These last two home games, they have been great. A little bit more on that later. I mean, I expected Alabama to beat Vanderbilt. I just felt that was rife for, some payback from last year, and the whole public was on Vandy. Like it just felt like Bama was definitely going to beat that spread, and they did. Texas Tech looks like a national title contender. Cincy 38-30 is not what that score should have been. It should have been about 60-30.
Yeah.
So Cincy should have scored a lot more. So yeah, I mean, we're learning a lot about these teams, and the deeper we get into conference play, the more we're going to learn, and probably back off of having such a big board that I had last week, since it didn't get me on that A&M and Mississippi State was really bad. But I think we're learning a lot here, and the picture is, at least in an unpredictable year, is coming a little clearer right now. So I'm sure something will change this weekend, but I think for a lot of these teams, we're kind of finding out who they are.
Especially like, the Power Four is becoming clear, but so are the G5 contenders as well. Memphis makes its way to 23 in the AP rankings this week. They're 6-0 coming out of the American. South Florida as well from the American. They're 4-1. They have a huge game against North Texas, which also got a couple of receiving votes in this week's AP rankings. So that's going to be a huge defining battle for who's going to get that G5 bid in the college football playoff this year. And don't count out UNLV as well. They're still getting some votes there too, Boggs, after
one in the snow, right?
Yeah. So very, very fun slate, even though it didn't go our way. I will say, like, my final takeaway is, like, I'm not going to fade Air Force again. That was kind of the play here. I was originally like, I need to go with my gut a little more. I was originally leaning to go with the Navy team total over. I went with the spread instead. Terrell talked me off that Cincinnati team total, which would have hit in the first half, so that was a bummer. But Air Force, dude, I was glued to this game in that noon hour, Boggs, because they might be the best 1-4 team in the country, along with UCLA, because they have this guy, Liam Zarka, who might be the best future academy quarterback in the country. Didn't start the season as the main guy there for the Falcons, but he was just going back and forth with Navy and everything they were throwing at him. So that was a really fun game there.
I think Air Force has been a good post-game win expectancy team.
Yeah.
One of those squads where theoretically they should have won some of these games, but
Yeah.
The schedule's tough.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, that's how it is, though. I mean, we're seeing those, and I'm sure we'll see some more teams kind of towards the second half of the season that we're not even talking about currently. I mean, last year, Arizona State, right? Like, this is kind of right in the time where we started to really notice, Cam Scadaboo might be a guy and lead this team down the stretch, and he certainly did. So we'll certainly talk more about the futures betting markets potentially next week's show, Boggs. Maybe we'll make some time at the beginning of the program to talk a little bit more about futures markets. But let's fire things up here, starting with an SEC top 25 matchup in the noon slate, where the number 8 Alabama Crimson Tide, they're 2.5 to 3.5 point road favorites against the 14th ranked Missouri Tigers. Bama comes off their 4th straight cover and 2nd straight top 25 win over Vandy. Quarterback Ty Simpson, he's really made this an elite passing offense. They're top 5 in the country in passing yards per game. They have struggled to run the ball, though, 105th in rushing offense, and stop the run, 88th in rushing defense. Mizzou, they're coming off the bye. They're undefeated currently, straight up 3-2 ATS this season. And the one that got away from us here in Happy Valley, QB Bo Pribula, he has this offense cooking right now. Ahmad Hardy is making his case to be the Doak Walker Award winner as well. 3rd in rushing in offense as a whole. He leads the country in rushing, 50th in passing offense for the Tigers. The Tigers D also top 10 against the pass and 1st against the rush. So Boggs, Bama won this game 34-0 in Tuscaloosa last year, but I think we're all expecting, including the books, a different result this go around.
Yeah, that was also the game. I think their quarterback was hurt, right? Like that was a big. They had a lot of issues going on. Burden, I think, was banged up as well. So Missouri had a lot, but this is a different Missouri team, and I think I like Mizzou at home here. They beat Kansas and South Carolina, but those are pretty middle of the pack so far. Alabama a little more battle tested, obviously, but the problem that makes me lean to staying away from, I'm going to have a lean here. I don't think I have a play. So the thing that I would like to take Alabama because they won that game last year. I think they're kind of hitting their stride, especially coming off that win against Georgia. I think was very impressive here. And, they went and dominated Vandy. So they're looking more like Bama. But the games that they, the game that they lost to FSU, they gave up 230 on the ground. They gave up 227 to UGA a couple weeks ago. And that is what Missouri does well, is they run the ball, control the clock.
Yes.
They've been rushing the passer well as well. A little bit weaker of a schedule for Missouri than Alabama, but I think Missouri's a very good team and they're at home. So I kind of like Missouri in the spot here coming off a bye because they're at home. But I think Bama might be gearing up to be, their final form here. So this one is tough for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to lean towards Missouri. I might have a more, hardened pick by the time we talk to Terrell. But right now, it's just going to be a lean towards Missouri. And let's see which way this line goes, because I think it's going to go towards Alabama. So if it expands a little bit, the more it grows towards Bama, the more I'm going to like it for the Missouri side. So I'll wait and see where the line goes.
I might opt for a team total here, to be honest with you, Boggs, on the Missouri Tigers, just because I don't know if Alabama can stop them, right? Like Tommy Castellanos ran all over this Bama defense. I think with both Bo and
it's
Hardy
24 and
back
a
there.
half.
Okay, yeah, again, I'm going to take 23
That's a good
and a half.
number.
23 and a half is a better number because I got screwed on the hook a couple weeks ago with Penn State against Oregon on that number. So I would probably opt down to tease that down, but 23 and a half sounds very doable for the Tigers. So that might be, especially at home, man. This is a rowdy environment, and it's just going to get better and better as the season progresses here. I miss you, Bo. I miss him. I miss my little boy, Bo. I miss him. Over in Champaign, we also have a top 25 Big Ten matchup with the top-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. They're laying 14.5 to 15.5 points against the 17th-ranked Illinois Fighting Illini. Ohio State comes off their 4th cover of the season, 42-3 winning against Minnesota. Matt Patricia has this defense firing right now, ranked number 1 in the country in scoring, allowing just 5 points per game. They're 3rd in total defense as well. And this is a slower paced offense that we're seeing under Brian Hartline as compared to what Chip was running last year, but it's efficient, ranking 28th in total offense, 22nd in scoring as well. Illinois, they're coming off their 5th cover of the season. They won 43-27 in Purdue. Aside from that week 4 wallop in Bloomington, they're starting to put together a pretty nice resume here. 15th toughest strength of schedule so far, but they rank 95th in total offense, 93rd in total defense. Boggs, do you think Luke Altmaier and company, they have the goods here to keep this one close? And is there any chance that this line shrinks up under 2 touchdowns by kickoff?
I think it does, just because I don't think a lot of people want to lay that many points. But we also saw Illinois get massacred by Indiana earlier this year. So this is kind of a weird one. The points has already moved towards Illinois, but it hasn't quite gotten where we see this game at BP. It's closer to, it's like right around 11. So I think 2 touchdowns might be a bit much, but I like the under here. I just think that
I agree.
Ohio State, that defense has been unstoppable. The pass blocking has been rough for the Illini. It was really bad against Indiana. And I think Illinois is kind of a B+ team, right? Like, they're going to beat almost every P4 school you put in front of them. But once you get to that upper echelon, the top 20, the top 15, they're not in those games, I think. And I think Indiana kind of proved that. I think Ohio State's going to prove it again. I don't think it's going to get away from them quite as bad as Indiana did, right? Specifically because, Ohio State is looking better on offense, but they're not quite in their stride. They look better against Minnesota. Minnesota is really one-sided on the offensive side of the ball, though. So it allowed them to hold the ball the whole game and all that. So to me, I think I like the under in this game. I like an under Illini team total. I haven't seen where it is yet. I can look it up real quick. But yeah, I think I'm looking closer towards unders instead of playing a side in this game, just because that does kind of seem like a decent amount of points. So team total right here for Illinois is 16.5. I'm playing that under.
Yes, sir. Don't I'm with you. Like, don't fix what isn't broke, man. This is the one market I feel like we've been pretty good at this year as a whole on the show. Team totals, and especially under in Ohio State games. I mean, they're allowing 5 points this season, Bog. So, and I would say they faced offenses that are just as good, if not better, than Illinois. Like, I would take probably Washington's offense right next to Illinois. So, like, yeah. Yeah,
the strength of schedule is 17th, right? Illinois has got a good strength of schedule. It's 19th.
Yeah.
So, but I just think, Ohio State's defense is too good right now. Look, Illinois is not a slouch. They're +7 in the turnover margin. They're one of the highest in the nation. They don't get a lot of penalties, 31st, but Ohio State's 11th. I just think Ohio State, they have everything on this team except a very strong rushing offense. That's like the one thing that's missing from them right now, and they could get that by the end of the year. It would not be surprising. So I have no confidence in the Illini in this game. So give me the under. And I really like that team total under for Illinois.
Okay. Before we keep it moving, just a quick reminder that today's show is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Hard Rock Bet. We talk a ton of football this year on Betting Pros, but hey, it's October and postseason baseball is afoot. Every swing could change the season. Step up to the plate and take your swing on Hard Rock Bet today. New customers can place a $5 bet, and if it hits, you not only get your winnings, but also $150 in extra bonus bets. Plus, every year this week on Hard Rock Bet, you can get a profit boost for postseason baseball parlays. These are new promos every single day coming your way. Boost your SGP or your SGP max so your bets pay out extra winnings. Here's a 2-legger I like for tonight, paying out at +203 odds. In leg 1, give me Logan Gilbert over 6.5 strikeouts, -110. Logan Gilbert has gone over this prop twice against the Tigers in 2 starts this season. And also in leg 2, give me Randy Arozarena over 0.5 total bases. That's -170 against pitcher Jack Flaherty this season. He's 3 for 8 with all extra base hits. There are new promos coming out every single day. So if you're listening to this later in the week, just open up the app and check out, see what they've got for you any single day. And make sure you're checking out the Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app and making your first deposit while you can. Next up, let's go to the Texas State Fairgrounds for the Red River rivalry game, kicking off at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The number 6 Oklahoma Sooners, they're now catching 2.5 to 3 points against the unranked Texas Longhorns. OU's triggerman John Mateer expected to be sidelined for this game, leaving sophomore Michael Hawkins Jr. back under center, coming off a 3-touchdown performance against Kent State. And even if this 55th ranked total offense is a slightly nerf here, I think the Sooners still have a really good defensive unit. They're top overall ranked in the total defensive metrics and second in total scoring defense as well. Texas, meanwhile, they are 3-2 after a game against Florida, and they were outgained 457 to 341 in that game. They took 6 total sacks against a Florida team that only had 3 sacks coming into that one. The Longhorns' 13th ranked total defense was exposed as well, allowing Florida's offense to, I would say, Boggs looked the best it has all season, playing against FBS opponents. And Arch Manning, once again, very, very underwhelming, both through the air and on the ground. So, Bogman, is this a spot maybe we can get back invested with Texas, or is it a hands-off approach because it has been such a back-and-forth rivalry? And do you think this spread might tighten up even throughout the week?
I don't really care where the spread goes. You can't take Texas right now. You just can't. I
don't think you can take Oklahoma without Mateer, though, can you?
That's fine. Let's go with the under. 42.5. I have never seen a more clear 17-7 game than what is looking at me right here. This Oklahoma defense has been outstanding all year. One of the best in the country. I mean, statistically, first in a lot, right? So first in total defense, second in pass defense, fifth in rush defense, the +2 on the turnover margin, even with offensive mistakes. So very, very strong defense. Texas defense has been strong as well. They clearly were not ready for Florida to come out and sling the ball down the field. No. And Dallas Wilson looks like an amazing impact freshman for the Gators. But Oklahoma doesn't have that. They have a good receiving core, and I think Hawkins is better than he was last year. But Hawkins was embarrassing against the Longhorns in this game last year. This was a very, very quick smashing of the Sooners.
35-3, something like that? Yeah.
I have never been more comfortable in a Red River shootout than I was last year, watching this game. I don't expect that at all. I think this is going to be a gross, field goal game where it comes down to who holds the ball a lot, which is usually not the case. Usually this is a Big 12 shootout, right? But now that these teams are in the SEC playing defense, I'm pretty sure Arch is playing hurt. I think it's been pretty clear since he's been grimacing week 2 with the shoulder thing. I think that's obvious at this point. Sark got real defensive when they asked him about it, when he grimaced a couple weeks ago too. I think that's just like, you're playing right into it. It's pretty obvious. And with Mateer being down, the OU offense is just different. Yes, they look great against Kent, but that's Kent. So, the Sooners, they held Auburn and Michigan to under 300 yards of offense. And even last week against Kent State, Hawkins was 50% in completion percentage. That's not great against Kent State, one of the worst teams in the FBS. So, under on this total, I just don't think this is going to come anywhere close to this. I think this is even if it's a lopsided game, I think it's a 28-3 lopsided game. You know what I mean? So I don't know how we can trust either offense right now.
Man, I miss Moneyline Mateer. We need him back because that would be the play here, right? If he was in this, I would absolutely be betting for the Sooners here on the money. I mean, they'd probably be favored though, right? If Mateer is up for this one, I bet.
They'd be favored by a touchdown.
I mean, you think honestly, he's a 10-point swing? You think he's worth 10 points?
I do, yeah. I don't know why what has Texas shown you this year at all to say that they should be favored in this game? They're good against Sam Houston. Who cares? No. Oklahoma was good against Kent State. Who cares? Yeah. These offenses are both pathetic right now, and the defenses are still pretty good. Even though Texas played terrible this week, they were not expecting Lagway to go and throw the ball down the field that much. They'll have a much better game plan against Oklahoma, way more familiar rival, and they're not going to do anything tricky. They're not coming off a bye week. So, maybe they get some tricky stuff in there, but I don't think it's going to be as embarrassing as they looked against Florida. I just don't think Hawkins has Lagway's skill. So, healthy Lagway's pretty good. Broken Lagway, no good at all. We know that. So no points in this game. Take the under.
Another banger in the late afternoon slate comes by way of a top 10 Big Ten matchup between the number 7 Indiana Hoosiers and the number 3 Oregon Ducks. IU comes off the bye, and right now they sit 3-2 ATS, undefeated straight up. The Signetti smoke is still rolling strong out there in Bloomington. The Hoosiers currently ranked 5th in total offense, 5th in total defense. Quarterback, Heisman hopeful, Fernando Mendoza. He leads the Big Ten in passing touchdowns with 16, and he has 2 wide receivers, Elijah Surratt and Omar Cooper Jr., who are tied for the conference lead with 6 receiving touchdowns apiece. Oregon also comes in off the bye following a whiteout overtime victory in Happy Valley. They too have a 9th-ranked total offense and the 7th-ranked total defense in the country, giving them the 4th cover of their season coming in as well after that Penn State game. Bugs, do you have a play here? And is there any early line value out there with IU catching between 7.5 and 8.5 points, depending where you're looking?
I don't see it, right? Like, I think this line is pretty good. Mm-hmm. I think this is right where it should be, but I don't know how you can bet against Oregon right now. Like, Indiana is amazing, and I think they're a very good team. And in roster strength, I mean, they might actually be a little bit better than Oregon, surprisingly. But throughout the 2 deep in all of that, I think it's Oregon, and Oregon has been beating people so bad that we've invented this Oregon hangover, right? Like, Penn State did give Oregon a good game, so maybe I'm overblowing the difference in these teams here, but I just don't neither one of these teams have really been greatly tested. I guess Oregon, I mean, because how good do we think Penn State is now, right?
They're definitely still a top 25 team, but like, how good
are
they?
Are they closer to Clemson or are they closer to Oregon? Same thing with Texas.
Yeah.
I want to be defensive about Texas too, but what they've shown us on the field is they're not that good, right? So Indiana's a very good team. I don't see them going on the road to Oregon and playing their best game. Can they play a winning game? They can. Yes, they can. They're a great team. They're a good squad, and they're very fundamentally sound, right? Not a lot of misses, but there've been more misses this year than there was last year. So I think I'm going to take Oregon here, but I will not be betting my money. I will not be betting your money or anybody else's money on this game. This is one I just want to watch and see what happens. Maybe I pick a player prop in this one, but this one is too close for me to like. Maybe if it gets below a touchdown, I'll want Oregon, but I feel like it's going to expand towards Oregon, if anything. I think it's going to go 8.5 or 9.5. We do have a massive split in tickets and cash. The tickets are overwhelmingly on, not overwhelmingly, they're well over 50% on Indiana. Wow. The cash is overwhelmingly on the Oregon side. So there must be just a couple massive bets on Oregon so far. And I think that's where I would lean as well.
Man, I'm just impressed with what Dan Lannon continues to do, because the depth of this program goes beyond the quarterback position, right? I mean, everyone knew switching from Dylan Gabriel this season as he approaches his NFL career to Dante Moore could potentially bring a couple of hiccups. It really hasn't. They also then lose Evan Stewart in the offseason. It doesn't matter. Gary Bryant Jr. has been awesome. Kenyon Sadiq is the best tight end in college football right now, I think, too. And like, so much to the fact where everyone coming in, like, we all thought Mekhi Hughes transferring in from Tulane was just going to take over this backfield. Word is that he's making a business decision. He's not going to be on the field here pretty soon.
Right.
He's redshirting. So, and it doesn't even matter. They got Whittington. They got people in the backfield that can get it done. So, I mean, dude, they're just deep.
They keep finding, gems underneath the next gem and all that. But I think the main thing why I like Oregon here is because they're going to be able to get Indiana out of what they typically do. Indiana likes to dominate time of possession. They like to drag the ball around and hold the ball and bleed the clock. You're not going to be able to do that against Oregon. So I think Oregon throws them off their game enough to do that. Indiana plays at the 110th pace. Oregon plays at the 85th pace. So if by some, stretch, Indiana can dominate time of possession, they can win this game. I just don't see how. I don't see anybody dominating time of possession against Oregon unless Oregon is scoring so fast that other team has to hold the ball longer. That's the only way.
This is one of those games I can't wait to watch. I don't think I'll get action down on it, though. I think that's probably the truth for that one. Let's go ahead and pop off the top of the primetime slate, where we have the Florida Gators traveling to College Station as 7.5-point dogs. Florida coming off that big win in the Swamp over Texas, getting them back to 2-3 ATS this season. The Gators offense looked explosive for once. That return of Dallas Wilson was legit. Jaden Ball went over 100 yards for the first time on the ground in quite some time as well. Florida does remain 94th in total offense, but 24th in total defense, and they have had the 6th toughest schedule in the country so far this season. A&M, they're coming off that 31-9 victory over Mississippi State. They're covering for just the second time this season as well. Mike Elko's team is top 25 in both total defense and total offense. Boggs, do the Aggies keep things rolling here against the Florida team? They beat 33-20 last year in the Swamp, and any thoughts on where we see this line move?
Man, I can't pick against the Aggies again. I've done it 2 weeks in a row, and it's been losing me money. So I don't think I can pick against them. I think if this moves, I would assume it moves towards Florida, right? Like, Florida finally is impressive. A lot of people wanted to like Florida coming into this year, right? They were a very big sleeper national title contender because Lagway in this incoming freshman class, and then Lagway plays like garbage and the incoming freshman class is hurt, right? So like, I think a lot of people want to buy Florida. So I think maybe we get some bandwagons on Florida for this game, but like I was saying before, I think whatever A&M's problem was on defense against Notre Dame, they fixed, right? Auburn, they held to 10 points and 177 yards. They held Mississippi State to 219 yards and 9 points. Maybe they fixed it. Maybe it's home field advantage. I don't really care because A&M's at home in this game. So I think I got to take the Aggies in this one. Florida looked different. They looked better on offense, but they had 2 weeks to prepare. Dallas Wilson was a surprise, and he was really good and should continue to be a great asset and a field stretcher for them. This isn't my favorite game this week, but and specifically because I've been so wrong about A&M. And A&M still, like, they're the second worst team in penalties in the country.
Right. Yeah, they are undisciplined as all get out, man.
Right. So, like, there are extenuating circumstances that keep Florida in this game, specifically if the offense is better than I am going to give them credit for against this A&M defense. But I just can't bet against the Aggies right now. I've done it 2 weeks in a row. It's lost me money 2 weeks in a row. I'm not doing it again. So give me the Aggies. Lean.
Yeah, I think I'm with you leaning there, but probably another opportunity that I'm not going to get invested with, just because I think there are future days to fade this Texas A&M team. They're at Arkansas next week, then they're going to LSU, they're off a week, and then they're going to Missouri. I think LSU and Mizzou are both opportunities on the road we fade them. I just don't want to fade them here in Kyle Field. I mean, besides, the Swamp and I used to think was a good place to play up in Beaver Stadium. There aren't many crazier places to play than Kyle. So looking forward to that one. Don't think I will be invested. But also in the 7:30 slate, we have the number 15 Michigan Wolverines. They're catching 2.5 points against the USC Trojans in Los Angeles. Michigan, they remain 2-3 ATS this season after failing to cover in a 24-10 win against Wisconsin last week. And stop me if you've heard this before, but the Wolverines, they're 15th in rushing offense. They're also outside the top 90 in the nation in passing offense. They do have a top 20 defense, though, that is built to stop the run. They got some big cloggers up the middle there. That might come in handy against Lincoln Riley's Trojans. I think this is still one of the most elite offenses we've seen. They're second in total offense this season, but they continue to struggle on the defensive side, which is nothing surprising if you know Lincoln Riley, if you know his background, especially struggling against the pass here. USC 3-2 ATS this season, coming off the bye. Only covers have come against Missouri State and Georgia State. So Boggs, despite getting beat last week, are you back in on the Wolverines here in under a field goal game?
Man, so did you see, I don't know why would you watch the end of this game, but it was the same thing that happened to me in that BC game the week before where they could have scored at the end, but they decided to let the clock run out to beat the spread. And, like they're going to run one play, and it's like if he gets in the end zone, it goes over. And he was aiming for it, but they tackled him at the 3, and they just let the clock run out.
Heartbreaking.
So, just a betting killer right there. Not my favorite game, right? Like, because I think that if this was in Michigan, I'd probably be taking the Wolverines here. But them having to travel makes this a little more blurry. We also see it towards USC, but it's going to be one of two things. It's either going to be a low-scoring, gross game that I think Michigan should win. If it gets into any type of point for point, even though USC can't stop anyone, I don't know if Michigan's offense is good enough yet to be built to go point for point, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it's possible, though. Like, the USC defense is real bad. So I don't have a good feel one way or the other, because I think this is either going to be a high-scoring affair close game or a low-scoring drag them in the mud close game. So it's going to be a close game no matter what. It's a 1.5 point spread. I think I just don't trust Lincoln Riley at all. And this defense is bad. I know Michigan's traveling here. We're getting points with them, though. And if this goes out more toward, like, if this gets to 3.5 for USC because people like the offense, then I understand that they're at home. It is a big travel game for Michigan. And look, Michigan lost a road game to Oklahoma, but Oklahoma is a defensive team, right? They stopped them by holding them. I think Michigan's going to be able to stymie the offense at least a little. Like, I think I would go more towards the under in this game. So that'll probably just be my play, is the under 57.5.
Yep, exactly.
Here, but this is not my favorite. It's not a game that I will be betting this weekend. I think it's a little bit too close. Maybe I'll dig a little deeper and find something that I like in this game, but I doubt it's going to be a side of the total.
I actually think 57.5 going to the under is a really good play. I think that might be my first official play of the week here, Boggs, because look, USC's their pass defense is their weakness. Michigan cannot really throw the ball super good with Bryce Underwood. Like, he's doing everything he can, but you got Samaj Morgan out there dropping passes and fumbling the ball. Like, nothing comes easy for Michigan right now, I feel like. And USC, wow, it is their passing offense in Maeva that is really driving this thing. They've still had some success running the ball. I don't think they'll have that against Michigan. So, like, you really, I feel like 57.5 is a really generous number to get the under.
Well, here's my issue is what if the Michigan offense all of a sudden comes to life, right? Like we saw Florida do this week. Yeah. I don't think that usually comes at home. It usually comes off a bye week. So it's not likely, which is why I still like the under here, but it is within the realm of possibility, right? This Lincoln Riley defense has never, ever been good. And it continues to not be good this year. And I don't think this game is going to change anything. It's just, what Underwood do we get? Do we get a confused on the road, having a difficult time Underwood, or do we get a calm, cool, and collected dude that sees how he can really take advantage of a rough defense in USC?
Fair.
That is going to be the difference in this game, and it's not a difference I'm willing to bet on.
Very, very fair. And just a quick reminder that you can track your bets, stay accountable, and level up by downloading the free BettingPros app. With Sportsbook Sync, you can automatically track your bets across all major books in just one spot. Easily monitor your bet performance by sport and bet type, including game picks, props, and even parlays. Create custom betting systems to find winning trends and profitable opportunities. New users, you can get yourself 6 months of BettingPros Premium on the house for free with your first deposit and wager at one of our partner books. Learn more at bettingpros.com/premium. The Kansas Jayhawks land in Lubbock as 13.5-point dogs to the 9th-ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders. Rock Chalk, 4-2 straight up this season, 3-3 ATS. They are coming off a win and a cover at UCF in Week 6. Jalen Daniels, their quarterback, he's kind of refound something here in Year 6, leading the conference in efficiency rating. He's also uncovered the talent of Alabama transfer wide receiver Emmanuel Henderson, who leads the conference in receiving yards. They've combined to give the Jayhawks a top 40 total offense, but their defense still outside the top 75 in yards allowed. This might be an issue against the Big 12's newest wagon, Texas Tech. They're undefeated ATS. They rank first in total offense and passing offense. Plus, they have a top 10 total defense to boot. Between Dickey, Jacoby Williams, Cole Eakins, Caleb Douglas, this is a talented offense with a defense littered with a lot of NFL talent as well. David Bailey, Romelio Height as well. So, Boggs, we're sitting at that key number of 13.5. Is this the time to get on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I want to wait and see if it shrinks a little bit more, but this is Texas Tech to me because I think we've seen this game already, right? We saw Kansas go to Missouri and get smashed, and that's a rival that wasn't going to happen for a while, and they still got smashed in that game. I think Texas Tech and Missouri probably line up fairly equally, right? Like Missouri does it on the ground, Texas Tech more does it through the air, but Texas Tech can do it any way they want to right now, it feels like. I think the Raiders are a national title contender. I think they're going to win the Big 12 going away. I think their biggest competition is Utah, who they've already dismantled, and Arizona State.
I was about to say Arizona State. I don't think Arizona State is in the same zip code as Texas Tech this year. I don't think it's close. So I think the Raiders are going to win this one going away, but I do think that we could see money come in towards Kansas. I don't think that the whole country is buying in quite yet. They haven't had a gigantic marquee matchup. That one game against Utah was very early, in a weird spot, and they won that one going away. So I don't know that everyone has been able to see Texas Tech dominate yet. So maybe we get a little bit more towards Kansas because they've been good the last couple of years and they have an exciting offense and they are a good team, right? I think Tech runs away with this game. So I'll wait and see which way the line goes. I think it's going to go towards Kansas a little bit because I believe it was 14.5 yesterday and you said it's 13.5 now. So we've already lost a point. So if it can start dipping a little bit more, I like it more, but I'd take it at 13.5. I don't care. I think Texas Tech wins this one going away. What about a team total here with Texas Tech? Would you get down with that? It's 36.5, so it's a big number, but they've just been so good right now, and Kansas's defense just allows pretty much everyone to score at will.
Yeah, man, I think that's fine. Okay. If they're going to win by 2 touchdowns, I think they're going to score way more than 35. So, and the way the defense is really coming together, that front seven with Bailey and Rodriguez, the linebacker, holy crap. They look so dominant right now. And Kansas is a good squad, but I think they're like a C-level team in the P4, right? Like they're gonna enough to make a bowl, but not to hang with the actual contenders. And I think Tech's a contender. So this one is kind of easy for me. I'll take Tech. I'll lay the points. And I don't even care if it goes out a little bit more, although I do, of course, prefer it at 13.5 or under. But I think it's going to stay right in that range.
Okay. Down on the South in Auburn, the Tigers are 4.5-point home dogs against the 10th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs. The Dogs are coming off their first cover of the season last week against Kentucky. Still haven't necessarily looked the part, though, ranking outside the top 65 in passing offense. 86 against the pass on defense, too. They do have those run stuffers up front. They are using a committee to run the ball at a pretty good clip as well, but I just honestly think this offense kind of lacks some skill position talent outside of Zachariah Branch coming over from USC. Auburn last played in College Station, coming off a loss against the Aggies to get to 2-3 ATS. The wild part about the Tigers, I think, is that they kind of feel like the light beer version of the Bulldogs here, Boggs. Stick with me. Athletic quarterback, inexperienced quarterback, though. Not really the best passing of the ball offense either. 114th in that. They can't really stop the pass either. Their secondary is pretty shoddy, and they run the ball pretty well, and they stop the run pretty well. So, Boggs, I think we really have a Spider-Man meme situation here that the books are also seeing that as well. So what do you think this line does by Saturday?
I mean, I think it goes towards Georgia, right? And I think it's because in the Kirby Smart era, they're 9-1 against Auburn. They've routinely thumped them. They beat them by more than 3.5 in every single one of those wins. The only loss that they had, they got murdered. And that was when they were ranked number 2 as well. Auburn took them down, but that was in 2017. So that's a long time ago. And I believe that this Auburn roster is way better than their recent struggles. I think this is a good team. They haven't been producing up to their roster strength levels yet. OU and A&M on the road aren't easy games, but they couldn't do anything against OU's defense, and were even worse against the Aggies. The scheme and the players, I feel like, specifically with the wide receivers that they have on this roster, and Singleton and Coleman, that should be good enough to stay in this game, but it hasn't. Auburn has been consistently inconsistent. I'm a lean towards Georgia in this game because of the history of this game, and because we haven't seen Jackson Arnold put it all together. Maybe being at home here in a big game is where he does it, but based on what? We just haven't seen him do that yet. So it's the same way, like he could have that Lagway breakout that we saw this week against Texas, but where's it coming from, right? Like at least Lagway comes in with a bye week, right? Where are they coming in from this at that angle? I just don't see it. So I'm going to lean towards the Bulldogs here. This is just Kirby Smart has beat them into the dirt.
Yeah, I don't hate the play. Would you take him ATS, or would you maybe tease that down to get a 2.5 or even money line play it?
I think they win by a score. So,
Okay.
Yeah, every time they beat him, it's been by way more than this. So I think that trend just continues.
We also have another night game in Baton Rouge with the 11th ranked LSU Tigers. They are currently 8.5, 9.5 point home favorites against the South Carolina Gamecocks. This is a game between two of the most underwhelming offenses given the expectations coming into the season. South Carolina 127th in total offense under Lenore Sellers. LSU not much better here, man. Under Nuss at 83rd right now in total offense. So LSU, they would have the edge on defense, though. They're rating out better in pass defense, rush defense, and total defense. So, Boggs, what are your thoughts on this game? I think in the preseason, like, I would have been absolutely glued to my TV for Nuss versus Sellers.
Yeah.
But, man, it's been a pretty slow start for them both.
Yeah, who has more to gain coming off bye weeks here, right? I think it's actually South Carolina because they've been so bad, right? Like, I think LSU is the better team, and you'd like to see this offense get rolling and get going. But I think just overall, South Carolina has been bad, dude. So both these teams going off a bye week should look better. But, I mean, LSU's offense hasn't been good, and their defense did the bend but don't break against Mississippi. It didn't win them the game because their offense couldn't get
can't run the ball
enough.
At all, man.
They can't do anything. I think Durham missed that game. I think he's supposed to be back for this one, which should improve that run offense. But, South Carolina hasn't done anything. Like their defense is okay, but they've been getting a lot of penalties. They're the 5th worst team in time of possession this season. I mean, they're +5 on the turnovers, but they can't run the ball. They're 122nd in rush offense. LSU's not better. They're 119th.
I was about to say they're both like bottom 20 in the country right now.
But as bad as LSU has been, they're not as bad as South Carolina, and I feel like it's more one-sided for South Carolina since they never have the ball either. So, I don't know. I think you want to pass if you're South Carolina, and you're not going to be able to against LSU. So I like the Tigers here. I don't hate an underplay either. It's not my favorite with both teams coming off a bye. We should see scripted drive score in both of these teams. You've had 2 weeks to prepare. So at the end of the first quarter, this game should be 7-7 and giving us 14 points already. So I might go first quarter over because you're both coming off bye weeks. You've schemed up this offensive game plan in the scripted drive, probably 1 or 2. So you probably get a couple cracks at it as well. So I think first quarter over for both teams coming off a bye. After that, I don't really know. I think I'm going to lay the points and take LSU just because South Carolina hasn't really shown me anything.
Yeah, especially on the road in Death Valley.
At night.
Yeah, it's going to be bumping. I wish this total line was a bit higher. Like if it was maybe at 47.5, I would consider going out on the under because like I'm with you. Outside of the scripted drives, I don't know where they move the chains with because both these teams are absolutely garbage at running the ball. So,
I mean, I think that LSU could, you give them a bye week. Look what the bye week did for Florida. Right? Bring back a couple players too. I think LSU is a much better offense than Florida. So I think we could see that. Will we? I don't know. It's a big question. But so I think I like the first quarter over. After that, no thanks. Pass on the rest.
Let's go ahead and round out the program in Salt Lake City, where the Utah Utes host the 21st ranked Arizona State Sun Devils as 3.5 to 5.5 point home favorites. ASU has kept the train on the tracks after losing to Mississippi State in week 2 with 3 straight wins and covers against Texas State, Baylor, and TCU. They're coming off the bye here, and they hope that maybe can fix their 89th ranked passing offense, their 96th ranked passing defense as well, trying to get those back in check. Utah got beat pretty badly in week 5 against Texas Tech at home the last time we saw them, but then they did go on the road the next week. They beat WVU, winning and covering 48-14. Devin Dampier, kind of like a Sam Levitt in this situation, very mobile quarterback. He can chuck the ball for days as well. So Boggs, 2 good offenses, maybe a slightly better defense in Utah, and this is in Utah. So is that the play here?
This is not my favorite game. This one feels a little Spider-Man meme-y as well.
It does,
right?
yeah.
Both play good defense, run the ball, can't pass. Kind of the same deal here. So Kenny Dillingham has voiced his frustrations with Arizona State this year. They've had a couple close wins, but that win against Baylor had an 89% post-game win expectancy. They should have won that game.
Wow. Right?
And they had another tight one last week as well. I just don't think that this is the same Sun Devils team that we had last year. I think that this is a wild team. They have large differences in the pass defense versus the run defense. They're 98th against the pass. Yeah. They're 9th against the run. But it doesn't matter if you're 9th against the run. Nobody has to run against you. You're 98th against the pass. Everybody can pass against you. So that has been rough so far for them. They've got some opportunistic turnovers. They're +5, but they were +3 last week. So this game should be a tight, down to the wire type of game. I'd like to see the total expand to get out over 50 so we can take the under. I think that is where I would lean here. So I'm going to sit and wait and see which way this total goes, because I think both these teams are going to want to run the ball and they're going to want to play strong defense. And Utah plays a little bit quicker of a pace at 48th, but ASU slows it down at 82 at an 82nd pace as well. Plus it's a tight game at night. I think it's going to be just a little bit, it's going to be specifically slower moving if you're ASU to make sure you get everything right with all that crowd noise. So I don't, maybe like a team total under for Arizona State would be a little bit nicer of a play here, but this is not my favorite game. I like the under, but let's see what the line does.
Yeah, ASU's tough because you look at their offense and they're really Tyson Levitt specific, and then they got Raleek Brown out there who wasn't even supposed to be the starter coming into this season. Yeah. And he's no Scattaboo, but he's been doing a fine job. He's been getting, anywhere from 15, 20 totes a game and doing a fine job with it. But definitely a little bit of ways to go. I think they need to find more playmakers out there on the outside. They had a really good veteran tight end coming back this season. He has done nothing either. So I want to see more of those players involved, I think, before I get invested in Arizona State. But guys, that is going to do it for us on this early picks episode of the Betting Pros College Football Show. Still to come later this week and every week on the Betting Pros YouTube channel and audio feed, our picks and prediction show with Terrell Furman Jr., Boggs Best Bets and Player Props, plus our parlay picks. Let us know in the comments below your favorite Week 7 early picks. And while you're here, make sure you're smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel if you're new. For Scott Bogman, I'm Seth Woolcock. Take care, y'all.
See you.